Detecting Talk of the Day, 29 July, 7:55 a.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. The mighty Manicore out here again with an M9 call. Now you're going to see some of this behavior using other calls on this machine. You know, there might be some differences, you know, with target orientation. Okay? We're just going to look at all-terrain high conductors. Alright? You see that can slaw, and you see how close it is to that silver dime. Now I'm above that. You get an idea there. Speed 4. Now, what I've done is I went in here and set up a 5-tone. I've got a nickel window. Okay. But I've got the lower side opened up on this machine. But I don't have 0 through 4. I've notched them. Dish them out, okay? Because all-terrain high conductor does a good job around the smallest of foil. I think that's the default setting anyway, okay? Now this is 5-tone set up like I've got. You hear that? You see that screen? Now, some people may be wondering, you know, well, what's those sharpshooters keep looking at stuff like this for? Well, here's why. I'll show you why. 15 kilohertz. Does that number ring a bell? 14, 15 kilohertz. You know, that's what a lot of single frequency detectors were running, weren't they? Well, what do we get on this? Match the horseshoe. You see that? So that could still be laying out there and somebody thought it was a junk target. Correct? Okay. So I'm sweeping horseshoe out. You notice that ID. Let's let the ID time out on it. No ID. When you hear that high tone, don't you? You hear that low tone and you see that screen, what it's doing to you. So you as a Manicore user already suspect low conductive masking, okay? There's ID in there now, see that? But listen to the tone. Now the ID went away. Now, let's spread these apart. Y'all will find this interesting. If we'll see what I've seen before, look how far apart those are. Speed 4. Look at that ID, boys. But you hear that high tone and you see that trace over there. See that ID? Look at that trace. Now that trace there is there too with that can slaw. See that one over there. Now, it's sharpshooter's opinion. You know, people, you use your machine any way you want to use it. Running this machine in all-terrain general, all-terrain high conductor, trying to run what we call disc or notch over to the wall, we'll call it. You take this machine in the wild and you want to disc zinc and pennies, for example. Let's say you want to run your disc over to 65. Okay, you can do that. Okay. But this machine has the capability, along with that target trace and its audio capabilities on what it's doing with lower conductive trash, you might get on some fines if you would. 57 maybe for all-terrain high conductor and 51 for all-terrain general. Now remember, you don't have to dig the targets that come in even at zinc and penny range. Okay? If it's a dot in the screen, you know, a nice little clear dot, you know, there's no masking being shown, there's no iron tone, well, you don't have to dig it. How many of those targets are in a sight? Okay, you may hit some twist caps. Okay, solo twist caps, walk off. But if you see that masking, okay, you notice, see how far, see there's no connecting on them. They're not connected. See how far apart those targets are? See that trace? There's 2 dots because I'm sweeping over both targets. Let's put them closer together. Now you see where they're at. What do we get now? You see the joining taking place there? So that's telling you, the user, that target is compromised in all likelihood. Okay? And you don't even see anything up in the Ferrous region. You notice that. There's nothing up there. See how it's streaking from one to the other? They're trying to connect themselves. And in this case here, we don't even have an ID. That's an all-terrain high conductor. Now I'm going to mash the horseshoe button. You still see the trace. See how it's trying to connect? It does connect. Right in the middle. When I get in a certain spot, it's hard for me to show on this camera. You'll see it connecting. That's your key, okay? What other machine can tell you that? What it's going to do is it's going to give you an average ID on some shit like that right there, and you're going to be like, oh, that ain't in coin range. And that's a mercury dime. You're looking right at it beside a piece of can slaw. Now, some people may say, oh, well, sharpshooter, they probably wouldn't be a piece of can slaw. Aluminum cans ain't that old. Well, we don't know what's what. You already seeing 15 kilohertz on this machine. You'd probably haul ass. You'd never dig it for a high conductive coin. Okay, and a lot of other machines, AT Pros, and I'm not picking on it. I'm just saying there's a lot of them that's been out in these sites. Okay, so you have a machine that's giving more information. You can gamble. You're not going to be successful every time. Okay? Not going to be successful every time. Now, on that situation right there, and I'll show this in this camera. I said I wasn't going to show nothing but all-terrain high conductor. We'll look at all-terrain general. Now, I've got the notch on this, or the disc. Now remember, it's using some higher weighted frequency or higher frequency. I don't know. I've got it cut off at 51. You notice it doesn't do as good a job there. That's a pretty sizable piece of can slaw for that dime. Now if we trade that dime out for a quarter, this right here will work. Okay. But in this case here, all-terrain high conductors has an advantage. You hear that? You hear that tone, and you see that trace doing what it's doing on there. Okay. So on that right there, you got to hear how it sounded on this machine. So what I'm going to do, let's just do a little experiment here. All right. We'll block this left region. Let's say you're going to be one of them people that goes out, and you're going to try to be all you can be with this machine. We're going to bring the notch over to 65. That's where we're at. What we get here? That's pretty faint, ain't it? I'll even change tones. Make this real audio theme. Depth audio. Profile simple. Okay, so we're getting it there with that discrimination. All right, let's bring it on over. There's 67. What happens? $67, 69. Okay, so we got it on 69. Let's move it a little closer and then I'll take the, see it there? All right. That's 69. You don't hear anything. You would go by that. There's 66. 66, you'd go by that. Okay. There's 64. You go by that is 64. Right by it. There's 60. You see it in the camera there. All right, what happens? So you get it at 60. 61. 61 is very shaky now. Let's go back in here. And shift it back down. There's 57. All right. Now, what does it sound like? See what I've done there? I've opened this bottom back up. Now that's that different audio theme depth. So we're going to go back to normal, simple profile. 5 tones. So you get to hear that. So that's a crippled dime, okay? And you get to hear the masking audibly. You hear that little quick transition. Hear that? Listen. You hear that high tone coming in there off that low tone or going the other direction with a call. Hear that? Well, that might get your attention, huh? Especially if you're hunting in a site you've done been in. Or a site you know has been hunted by quite a few people. See, if everybody goes out there running these machines the same way, running a disc up to 65 or 66 or 7, if everybody's out there doing that, well, that right there is going to probably stay out there. And this goes for some other machines too. Like I said, though, you don't have to dig it. You see what I'm saying? Well, that right there, though, you see there's clear masking and you see where it's reporting. Here's old Diet Pepsi aluminum twist cap. That's what that is right there. See what that looks like? Well, there's no masking there. You walk off and leave that and let somebody with an AT Pro dig that or something, you know. You see what I'm saying? You know there's no masking there. Odds are there's about a 95 or 99% chance no masking. This machine's probably doing a pretty good job calling that for what it is. Non-silver coin, non-copper. Okay? Sort of nifty what Minelab's done with this machine, but you know, you have to understand what masking can do to the ID per mode on this machine using the multi-frequency. Once you get a good grasp of that, okay, now you can still use some lower single frequency if you desire, but it does have some disadvantage. Okay, it has some advantage in some situations. That's going to conclude the video. Everybody have a nice day.